In the spring of 1972, 3-year-old Lillian Fairfax was found barefoot and silent on the steps of a rural church 20 miles from her family estate, her white nightgown soaked in blood that wasn't hers. She never spoke again. Journal entry. April 4, 1972. Lillian's mother, Edith Fairfax. Lillian sleepwalked again. I found her by the pond just before dawn, shivering and pointing to the woods. When I asked her why, she only whispered one word. Grandfather. But grandfathers. Been dead for years. The Fairfax estate sat atop a lonesome hill outside Gravenhurst, Virginia, decaying mansion wrapped in ivy and family secrets. To outsiders, the Fairfax family was respected. Founders of the local textile mill, patrons of the arts, generous. Donors to the church. But the townspeople whispered about them differently. That house eats its own, the butcher once muttered to his apprentice. Every child born in Rosehill goes strange. And perhaps none went stranger than Lillian when she was found at the church. She was caked in dry blood. No injuries, no explanation. The Fairfax family refused to speak to the police. And within weeks, they withdrew completely, pulling Lillian from school, firing the house staff, closing the estate gates for good. The pastor who found Lillian, Reverend Henry Barlow, filed a quiet report with the county. Case note, County Social Services, April 1972. Child appears unharmed physically. Psychologically unresponsive. When offered food, she placed it on the floor. When shown a cross, she turned away and began humming. Barlow tried to visit the estate several times after, hoping to check on Lillian. Each time he was turned away by the new groundskeeper, an ex-convict no one in town had ever seen before. When the Reverend tried one final time in June, he noted the strange silence around the property. No dogs. No birds, not even the wind, he wrote. It felt like the house was holding its breath. In the months following Lillian's reclusion, 3 Fairfax cousins died in unrelated accidents. A boating mishap, a fall down the east wing staircase, and a car crash near the mill. The local newspaper referred to it as a tragic season of misfortune. But the locals didn't believe in accidents. In 1987, Rosehill had sat abandoned for over a decade. Locals claimed it was haunted shadows moving in the upper windows, whispers beneath the wind. Teenagers dared each other to step inside. Only one ever did. Interview, Samuel Hartley, local historian. He was just a kid, Tommy Greaves, said. He wanted to take a photo of Lillian's old bedroom. Saw it, he heard her singing. We found him 2 days later in the cornfield, shoeless, eyes wide open like he'd seen something no one should. Never spoke another word. That same year, a construction crew hired to prepare the estate for auction made a chilling discovery beneath the drawing room floorboards. 14 cassette tapes, wrapped in oilcloth and twine. They were dated from 1966 to 1972, each labeled with the same initials, Ef. He comes to her at night. Lillian says he wears grandfather's clothes, but his face is wrong. She drew it again today, said he whispered a riddle in her ear. Same one she carved into the banister. I can't get it out. It's burned into the wood. What begins in the cradle and ends in the cellar? The riddle repeated across 5 separate tapes. No one could decipher it. Even more chilling, in tape number 12, Lillian can be faintly heard whispering the riddle under her breath for nearly 4 minutes straight. The blood on Lillian's nightgown? Human. Male. Type B negative. But no match in any database. News clipping, Gravenhurst Times, May 1972. Breaking. Fairfax family accused of unholy rites. Sources claim ritual abuse, child isolation, and hidden passages under Rosehill. A family photograph recovered from the house showed Lillian standing beside her mother and father. But behind her shoulder, partially hidden in shadow, was a tall man wearing a long black coat. No one recognized him. In 1988, a second body was Found, buried beneath the garden arbor. Male, mid-40s, still clutching a child's silver rattle engraved with the name Benjamin, but there was no Benjamin in the Fairfax family records. Letter, undated, found in fireplace grate, written in frantic scrawl. The cellar isn't empty. We told it we were done, but it waits. The cradle rocks. The cradle rocks. After that, the auction was cancelled. The estate sat untouched again, until one final visitor came in 1993. In 1993, after nearly 2 decades of silence, Lillian, now 24, checked herself into St. Agnes Psychiatric Hospital in Baltimore. Her first words to the intake nurse were, "He's still under the house." She spent weeks in near catatonia before finally speaking to Dr. Elaine Mercer, a trauma therapist specializing in repressed memory recovery. What Lillian described would shake even seasoned investigators. Session notes, Dr. Elaine Mercer, October 12, 1993. Patient describes a game played in the cellar involving ropes, masks, and a room called the cradle. Claims multiple children were brought in by her grandfather, possibly not family. Describes a ritual involving drowning, revival, and exchanges of breath, says mother watched. Sometimes participated. Lillian remembered being placed in a tub of cold water, her cries muffled by cloth. She remembered hands on her head, the taste of copper, and the voice. Session notes continued. Voice whispered riddles. Told her she had to trade something to be free. Something of equal weight. When she said she wouldn't, it said, "Then Benjamin will." Police excavated beneath Rose Hill's East Wing. They found a sealed stone chamber. Inside, 4 small beds, iron rings in the wall, dozens of drawings, and a name scratched into every surface, Benjamin. Among the items recovered, a porcelain crib with a broken mobile, dozens of small bones, mostly animal, some unknown, a photograph of Edith Fairfax in ceremonial robes, a music box that played a lullaby. Not found in any known collection. Final letter, Edith Fairfax to her daughter, dated March 1973, never sent. I tried to stop him. I tried, but I was so afraid. The Fairfax blood is a curse, darling. It asks, it takes. And when it can't take from us, it takes from others. Forgive me. In the center of the room, police recovered a lock of hair, a baby tooth, and a photo of Lillian, aged 3, eyes wide, with terror. In 1996, a new DNA analysis revealed something devastating. The male blood found on Lillian's gown in 1972 belonged to her twin brother, Benjamin Fairfax, a child no one outside the family even knew existed. He never survived the ritual. Lillian had, but only barely, and Rosehill? It burned to the ground 2 weeks later. Arson, no suspects, no arrests, only Lillian's voice on a final recording, left for Dr. Mercer. You can't bury him, not really, the cradle still rocks. And when it rocks, he wakes.